hold on and get started. Good morning, everyone. So 3 weeks ago, I received the final report and recommendations from the DOGE task force. And after taking some time to review them, I want to share some initial thoughts as we continue our work to make government more effective, efficient, and sustainable at every single level. When you consider the amount of state and federal funding that supports our state government, Iowa is about a $20 billion enterprise with 18,000 employees, critical infrastructure and operations, and a wide-reaching scope of responsibility. And taxpayers, quite frankly, expect it to run like a business, and it should. And that's why over the last 5 years, we've intentionally focused on making the state more nimble, competitive, and accountable, not only for the people it serves, but also for those it employs. In 2020, I launched the Governor's Economic Recovery Advisory Board to accelerate Iowa's pandemic recovery, which was named the fastest in the nation and was a catalyst for the next generation of prosperity and transformation in our state. In 2021, I stood up the Governor's Child Care Task Force to address child care shortages and workforce barriers for parents and employees across the state. Its recommendations led to innovative programs that received national recognition, created 27,000 new child care slots, and led to a first-in-the-nation website that allows parents to see in their real time where child care exists along their route to and from work. In 2022, I undertook what no governor had for 40 years, and that was a comprehensive review of state government operations. The pandemic had revealed many inefficiencies that had gone unchecked for far too long. For example, we had 136 professional licensing functions that were spread across 11 different agencies. Our administrative code had linked to more than 20,000 pages with 190,000 restricted terms. And as you recall, we even had a cow-calf operation, which operated at a loss, of course. So in 2023, I introduced and signed into law a 1,300-page bill to better align the state's operations. We've got 21 agencies from my cabinet centralizing services and agencies with the experience and expertise to best manage them, and today nearly all licensing functions are in one department. We've saved taxpayers over $250 million in 18 months, and that was more than originally was projected for the first 4 years. I also signed an executive order calling for a comprehensive red tape review and a moratorium on all new regulations. And since then, I'm proud to say that we have removed over 4,000 burdensome regulations from the books. In 2024, I worked with the legislature to streamline our system of boards and commissions, together eliminating 83 unnecessary and outdated boards. We also, due to alignment, we were able to merge all IT personnel and services across state government into a new centralized IT division within the Department of Management. And one of the many results in just that first year alone was consolidating 9 separate ticketing systems into one, where we saw cybersecurity vulnerability scores improve, and as well as $23 million in annual cost savings were identified. Alignment has continued to give us a clear line of sight into all areas of state government, and it reinforced the importance of continuously evaluating and improving our operations. And that is why the Iowa DOGE task force was the logical next step. On February 10, 2025, I signed Executive Order 12, establishing a task force made up of leaders from the private sector businesses, local governments, and education to assess how we can improve workforce programs, leverage emerging technologies, maximize taxpayer investment, and ultimately take alignment to the next level. I asked them to be bold. I asked them to identify where state and local government aligns and where industry standards were over outliers exist. The level of detail in their final report, I think, shows the extent to which they took their responsibilities to heart, even when some topics sparked public debate. And on that note, I want to make something very clear before moving on this morning. IBERS isn't going anywhere. There's been a lot of public speculation, not to mention misinformation, about the potential changes to benefits that state employees, law enforcement officers, teachers, and others rely on. And you can rest assured that IBERS will be there for your retirement just as you planned and we promised. And that, by the way, was the intent of the task force from the very beginning. I want to take this moment to thank the task force members for contributing their time and expertise, especially Chair Emily Schmidt, who's here with me today. I want to thank the work group chairs, Reynolds Kramer, Kathy Kay, and Terry Lutz, and Representative Wills and Senator Dawson for their participation in the task force as well. In just 180 days, the task force engaged with several state agencies, convened stakeholder focus groups, received input from more than 5,000 Iowans representing all 99 counties, and produced a comprehensive report filled with concrete, actionable recommendations. In my initial review of the report, I can say that I'm very impressed and grateful for the group's work, but I'm not at all surprised by the quality under Emily's leadership. So Emily is a third-generation executive at her family-owned and operated company, Sukup Manufacturing. She's a previous member of the Economic Recovery Advisory Board, and she was actually the chair of the Child Care Task Force. Her contributions over the last 5 years have made a tremendous difference in our state, and it's why I asked her once more to lead such an effort. So thank you for joining me today, Emily, for again saying yes to serving Iowans and helping us ensure that our state is on the best path forward. And now I'd like to invite you to say a few words about the work of the task force.
Thank you so much, Governor. It has been an honor to lead this effort for you, and personally rewarding to hear that, and you almost brought me to tears after five years working on all these things. The 14 task force members dedicated so much time, knowledge, and research for all of this report and detail that you mentioned. Our report reflects building on the good work of your administration, and you tasked this group, as you said, to think how can government operate to bring out efficiencies like we see in the private sector. And we focused on delivering services in the most effective way. I've seen firsthand, as you mentioned, just how this process can bring solutions and really problem solve to improve the state. From your Economic Recovery Advisory Board, from the Child Care Task Force, we, along with you, implemented these programs that are supporting working families, reducing administration burdens for daycare providers, as well as helping parents find care, as well as providing success stories, which I credit you for that. Child Care Task Force video was broken down to 3 parts, and it was focusing on return on investment, shared services for centralization for efficiencies, and leverage technology and workforce. So you knew it even back then. That's where we need to focus. And for this task force, you challenged us not to be satisfied with status quo, to do bold recommendations, and we made sure to engage the public by soliciting over 5,000 recommendations and comments through a portal. And more importantly, we heard feedback after each meeting. Yes, we heard all of that feedback. Each public meeting that continued to inform and also shape our recommendations and our thinking. And that's what it should look like. We should be not just sitting at the table, but also sitting side by side listening, having the discourse, having the discussion on something that's so big that is complex as a state government. In addition to the expertise of our committee, we reached out to stakeholder groups with deep knowledge and lived experience in these areas. Community college presidents, executives from major Iowa companies, and all agency directors. That all led to the 45 recommendations. And I'd be remiss to not include that we engaged the Iowa State Association of Counties, and we had multiple conversations along the way, because both of us have intent and purpose to make sure that we are delivering to Iowans in the most effective way possible and where those dollars have impact. Now, these recommendations reflect our overall focus to further optimize the use of taxpayer dollars. And we really focused on the process, the impact, and the effectiveness, because inherently that drives efficiencies. And it drives efficiencies across the life cycle of the whole delivery of public services. And each group represented the most important topics to our state's success, such as ensuring taxpayer value, for their investment, leveraging technology to improve operations like we do at business every single day, and addressing critical gaps in evolving workforce, training skills, and numbers. By creating a government ecosystem that reduces administration burdens, increases collaboration, allows every Iowan to be better served, and state outcomes that can evolve and adapt. These factors not only contribute to effective government, but also overall economic development, community vibrancy, and business growth for our state. This ecosystem of collaboration and evolutionary processes and nimbleness are key to the maintaining of these sustainable successes. In successful businesses, we do not keep blinders on, and we operate not in a pull-me-push-me manner between our departments. We work together. One example to highlight is how we can encourage the Iowa Workforce Development, Iowa Economic Development Authority, and Department of Education to really see themselves as an ecosystem, filling in the gaps, but also helping each other be successful. Iowa Economic Development Authority focuses on supporting Iowa businesses and strategically growing those opportunities. The Iowa Workforce Development focuses on equipping Iowans for the workforce, and Department of Education is there to educate our future generations. Whether it's a joint meeting, co-location, recurring report outs, we encourage more touch points like that with a common vision that achieves efficiency inherently. So, when you read the report, and I say when you read the report, because everyone in this room, I hope you do read the whole report. I hope it is coffee stained. I hope the pages get bent and notes on it, because that's what we need. And I know, Governor, you do that, and you carry out so much of, if not all, the recommendations from other task forces. So, do not look at each of these as a vacuum. I encourage elected officials to really read the report in the mindset of the task force that was given by the governor. It was applying business-minded efficiencies to the government and how that would look. Now, this is a different way of looking and thinking for current government, but now is the time. And supporting large strides like you have done in the past five years and even beyond, this is the time to do it. And we can modernize the deployment of government services by optimizing every single dollar. More than ever, I see the opportunity to us to even better the state. And I was reflecting when I was preparing for this press conference, I thought about the first press conference, which I think Dave asked, well, why would you want to do this? And I said, this is a great question. I ask myself every day for 180 days to it. It just put together the passion of impactful work and what you led with your leadership, what the committee members did day in, day out, weekly meetings, research on top of it, reporting out ideas, gathering, answering questions from the public. It really aligned the opportunity to put my passion for opportunities for improvement connected with the purpose of paying your civic rent. A mentor of mine always said that we have a duty, we have a duty to God, we have a duty to each other, we have a duty to be engaged civically, and I'm honored to give this report to you. And I really look forward to everybody reading it, copy stained, etc., because there's some amazing recommendations in there that can really drive efficiencies and saving money. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Emily. And thank you for always being a willing partner. Thank you for taking on another 180 days, for saying yes, and really providing, like I indicated, a really well done report and recommendations, and I really appreciate that more than I can say. So thank you. So over the next few months, my office and respective cabinet members will review the DOGE recommendations in detail for potential implementation. Our goal will be to build on the success of alignment, leverage ongoing progress across agencies, and identify new areas for further improvement. With respect to workforce programs, our state is already making tremendous strides. We've turned our unemployment system into a reemployment system. We've increased participation in high school work-based learning by 76%. That's a phenomenal statistic. We've also been recognized by the U.S. Department of Labor as a state apprenticeship agency, and the significance of that is it gives us more authority to oversee and expand registered programs that really are applicable in our state. But the fact of the matter is that workforce shortages, especially in certain high-demand industries, it continues to be an issue. Despite a $400 million annual investment in workforce programs, Employers report operational inefficiencies within certain programs, including outdated funding requirements. And that's why one idea kind of really resonated with me among the workforce recommendations, and that's giving employers a seat at the table to routinely review the workforce programs, ensuring that they're easy to access, that they are effective, and most importantly, that we have some metrics and they're delivering the intended results of the program that was originally stood up. I think it's also important when you look at how fluid the workforce is today, that we don't have programs that have been in existence for 40 years. We need to be more nimble. We need to be more adaptive. We need to think about AI and technology and really how that applies to training the workforce to make sure that we're giving them the skills to advance in their career, to have a great quality of life as a result. And so I think I just went off and said that already. So now, but now's the time for the state, as Emily said, to really reimagine its role of providing workforce programs, kind of moving more to a co-investor in workforce development and more of an enabler of employer-led workforce innovation. So this is a direction that I'm excited to explore further in the coming months. So, and also when it comes to leveraging technology, as I said, AI is not only the leading trend, it's the path forward. And again, the state is already using AI and predictive analytics to proactively identify program improvements. For example, the Department of Transportation and the Department of Public Safety have been using predictive analytics to forecast traffic patterns and identify roadways with higher accident potential, enabling authorities to take proactive measures and prevent crashes before they happen. These tools are also informing road design and infrastructure improvements to further prioritize safety. And AI's potential for improving efficiency inside state government operations is equally compelling. Across state agencies, too many processes are outdated, manual, repetitive, and prone to error, but AI is changing that. By automating tasks like form recognition, document classification, and workflow routing, we can streamline basic operations, increase service quality, and allow employees to focus on higher value work. And these are the type of outcomes that we should aim for across every level of government. Again, we've made great strides to do that at the state level, and similar opportunities exist at the local level. As the DOGE report points out, Iowa's local government structure has remained largely unchanged since the 19th century. But some communities across the state have taken the initiative to adapt and change for the better. In fact, thousands of memos of understanding have been signed among governmental entities, allowing them to share resources and provide joint services. The report highlights a regional partnership in Scott County that is saving local governments millions. Thanks to a unified agreement, the Waste Commission of Scott County manages waste services at no direct cost to the county or its 17 member communities. Without this collaboration, individual cities would pay an estimated $16 million annually, and the partnership goes beyond cost savings. Cities like Davenport and Bettendorf have streamlined operations by jointly adopting the same garbage trucks, containers, and GIS-enabled routing tools. And these shared investments have reduced staffing needs, improved route tracking, and created a more consistent experience for residents across city limits. County attorneys across multiple counties have partnered to develop and share a case management program that's more uniformly compatible, that are able to integrate with other local and state criminal justice agencies, and more cost-effective for all. In other examples, cities have signed agreements with respective counties to have the sheriff's office provide law enforcement services, and counties have signed agreements to share a county engineer to offset the cost and specialized requirements of the position. These solutions like these are common sense and things we need to continue to look at. And it's why the DOGE report recommends encouraging locally driven shared service models to remove unnecessary duplication and reduce costs, while also maintaining local autonomy and unlocking economies of scale that Emily hit on. The savings that result from these types of efforts may help us solve another issue that we're working on for Iowans, and that's reducing local property taxes. Iowa's property tax system is complicated and interconnected, and reforming it is, well, it's not an easy proposition. If it was, it would have been done already. So at the end of the day, the only way I think that we can really reduce the property tax burden is to maybe find new ways, maybe find better and more efficient ways for government at all levels to deliver services to our citizens. And that's a conversation that I'm having with Iowans now. Over the last 2 weeks, I've been holding roundtables with legislators, local government officials, community leaders, superintendents, business owners, healthcare executives, farmers, and other property taxpayers. Their voices are important to inform legislation because it truly is going to take all of us to get this done, and I do believe it is the expectation of Iowans that we get something done with property tax reform this year. So in closing, I want to again thank Emily and the entire DOGE task force for its work. Iowans can read the full DOGE report online. It's available on my website at gov.dot, Iowa spelled out .gov. And with that,